Live from LaGuardia Airport with an update on delays and cancellations there. Katie, how's it?
Well, the traffic has certainly picked up here at LaGuardia in the past couple hours, but so far, leaving LaGuardia, getting out of here to deal with, but so far it's okay. The incoming flights are a different story. An hour delay here at LaGuardia, 2 hours down in Philly. FlightAware says there are right now hundreds of delays across the country, and they're at various airports, including Atlanta. Those flights that are trying to leave areas that might not have bad weather, but are going to areas that aren't doing so well, are having much more of a problem. Now, the wind here is not an issue at the moment. It's expected to die down as the day goes on, but it will pick back up again later this afternoon and this evening, and that should cause some more problems tonight. Remember, one problem at one airport can cascade and create a number of problems across other airports. So if you are going out today, you're going out to catch a flight, make sure you check with your airline. That's the smartest way to do it. If you're stuck at an airport, well, I hope you have a pillow. 2.4 million of all those people are going to be traveling on planes, and the news isn't great, but it's not as bad as many people were expecting. 466 cancellations, though, across the system right now. That is a lot. FlightAware
Book or something like that. Katy Tur, thank you so much. It looks like
in New York, like what we were seeing down where you are, no snow, just some rain and some wind. Here at LaGuardia, there's only a handful of delays on the board right now and a couple of cancellations, so things are looking pretty good for the moment. We have Mara here. Mara, come in here if you don't mind. And you just came from Connecticut, right? An hour and a half early for your flight.
Yes.
How's it looking?
It's looking okay so far. We're flying to Dallas. They're telling us that we're on time, which is great. Roads are a little bit slick, so we wanted to make sure we gave us extra time to get through security.
Were you expecting to be able to leave on time?
I was not expecting to leave on time. In fact, I was thinking I'd be lucky if I got out tonight.
It looks like everything's going to be fine for you.
Looking good so far. Fingers crossed.
Lucky you, right?
Yes, so far.
So far, most of the travelers are, in fact, like Mara. We just spoke with one person so far who had an hour delay. Coming into LaGuardia is a much different story. An hour delay is coming in.
In New York City. Katie, how are things there at LaGuardia?
LaGuardia is not so bad. Across the country, though, as you said, about 239 flights canceled, hundreds of others delayed. Here at LaGuardia, it's the outbound flights that are okay for the most part. The inbound flights are having much more of a problem. There's about an hour delay on flights coming into LaGuardia. That's 2 hours down in Philly. That's where you're seeing most of the problems. Much of the backup is down in Atlanta right now, according to FlightAware. Now, just because you're not seeing a lot of bad weather at your airport in particular, other airports might be impacted. We had a guy dressed in a giant turkey costume walk by just a second ago. I'm not sure if my cameraman can get him, but he's down there.
So people are getting into the spirit, is what you're saying.
They're trying to lift the spirits. There's also some carolers. So if you didn't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, you can celebrate Christmas already because there's carolers around. And the producers were asking me this earlier. The bar is fully stocked. I'm told the bar is fully stocked.
That was the question we wanted to know. Is it open and is it fully stocked?
And where NBC's Katy Tur is tracking the air travel.
The country. There are about 2.4 million people that are traveling by air today, trying to get to their turkey dinners, wherever those might be. 250 flights have been canceled so far today within the United States. That's inbound and outbound. About 481 right now are delayed. Just a few minutes ago, there were only 239, which is a lot better than we were seeing a few hours ago. Travelers so far say they expected it to be a whole lot worse. Most people that are coming here came here a little bit early, but aren't seeing major delays. People are able to contact their airlines much more easily nowadays to find out if there are delays. So you don't see as many people waiting and stranded at the airport as you used to. A lot of the airlines also actually were able to give out vouchers for late.
Not as terrible as it might have been, but of course for
the flights that can cause a lot of issues across the area. Remember, just one airport having an issue can cause a cascading effect across the country. So just because it's not terrible at the moment, it could certainly get a lot worse.
One of the busiest and one that's seen a lot of delays and cancellations. What's the latest there now, Katie?
Storm is such bad timing, certainly for everybody across the country, and everyone is feeling delays in some form or another. We've been here at LaGuardia since 6 a.m. this morning. When we first got, all of this has trickled down from other airports, and it's a cascading effect, which has affected just the majority of the country. 2.4 million people are trying to travel today, and unfortunately, at least a handful of them, probably a considerable amount more, are going to run into problems.
Yeah.
Tamron?
Absolutely. And Katie,
That you might find if you're coming to the airport a little bit later today is the wind. The winds are supposed to pick up here in New York City. We've all been talking about the balloons for tomorrow, whether or not they're going to be able to fly them because the winds are going to start to pick up. Well, the winds can also affect flights, whether or not they can take off. There is an issue Thanksgiving, and the bars are fully stocked.
well, and just to your, I think the left or not very far from you, there's a 5 guy traveling without a child. So my heart goes out to them because that's the hard part when you're trying to convince a 6-year-old why you're delayed in your second hour and that they should.
We start with you. How is the forecast looking? Katy Tur,
actually,
Katy
at LaGuardia. It's okay. It is certainly one of the busiest or the busiest day of the year, and it's not a good way to start it off. 2.4 million people will be traveling by plane today, and a lot of them might wonder why LAX is being affected or SFO. They're not in the path of the storm whatsoever, but their outgoing flights might be going somewhere that are affected by the storm. Here at LaGuardia Airport, we've been here since 6 a.m. It started off with having very few delays, very few issues as the day has gone on. We've had a little bit more cancel, having some issues. An hour delays for the inbound flights here at LaGuardia, about 30 minutes over at Newark, and 2 hours for Philadelphia. That's been that way the entire day, so it's certainly hard getting into there right now. Atlanta is also seeing a number of delays. So far, though, travelers have been taking it in stride. A lot of them have gotten here early in order to make potential flights that aren't delayed, and a lot of the flights that we're seeing aren't having so many troubles as of now. If they haven't come to the airport, it's probably because the airlines have let them know that their flight is delayed or canceled, so they've stayed home. A lot of new technology is allowing people to not get here and to avoid the crowds that you might have seen in past years. Abby?
Katie, it also looks like there's a turkey dancing behind you, so if everyone waiting for flights, at least they're entertained by, a turkey.
He's big.
Watch out for him.
He's a big burly turkey.
Things are getting kind of weird here, and it might be because all the bars are fully stocked. I don't know, but things are getting a little odd here at the airport right now.
Well, I will be heading there in a few hours, so I look forward to it. Katy Tur, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.